Okay, so for today's lesson, we're actually going to skip ahead quite a bit on our note packet. So we're going to start actually on slide 57. So what we're going to do today is talk about this thing called function notation. And this will finish off section 3-2. So what function notation is, it's when I use this little symbol here. That symbol, how we read it, is we read it as f of x. So if you see that symbol, that means f of x. And then what we're actually going to do with that is we're going to be given a function. So for example, maybe something like that. Okay, so this would be considered our function. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that to find function values. So just pretend that maybe we're looking for f of 4. What this means is that I'm going to make x equal to 4 in my function, and then I'm going to evaluate to get a solution. Okay, so that's kind of our main idea for today. I am going to do a lot of examples so that you have them, and then you'll have some practice on a worksheet today too. So if we just slide over to the next slide, we are going to jump around a bit in this section because I just picked out examples that I liked. So for this first one, just make note, okay, here's the function we're working with, okay? And then what I want you to do right now is just focus on this first part and ignore the +3 for right now. What this is telling us is that I want to make x equal to 4 in my function, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just rewrite our function here. Oops, sorry. So f of x equals negative 2x plus 9, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the x in both spots here, and we're going to make it a 4. So it'll be f of 4 equals negative 2, and then when we replace this x, we're going to insert that 4 again, and then the plus 9. So everything in purple stays the same. The thing that's in that reddish color, that's the x that's going to change. Now we're only looking at the right-hand side. We're going to ignore the f of 4 piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this order of operations. So first thing we need to do is multiply negative 2 times 4, which is negative 8. And then we're just going to add those two numbers together. Negative 8 plus 9 is 1. So f of 4 is equal to 1. Now this one's a little weird because here in our original problem, it says we have to add 3 to the end result. Okay, so this one has an extra piece where I'm going to have f of 4 plus 3. We got f of 4 to be 1, and so we're going to just add 3 to that, which gives me 4 as my final answer. Not all of them you have to do that where you have the extra step, but I just wanted to show you how to go about that one on this question here. Okay, so we'll see some where you don't have to do that. Alrighty, moving on. We're not going to do either of these slides here. So you can go ahead and flip over to the next page. And we're going to do this problem here. Okay. Again, make sure you're checking your function because these will change. So that's our function. Again, right here, what that's telling me is that I want x to be equal to negative 4. So if we rewrite our function, f of x equals negative 3x plus 2. Again, we're going to take out the x's, anywhere we see an x, and we're going to replace it with negative 4 this time. So I'll have f of negative 4 is equal to negative 3, parentheses, negative 4, plus 2. And again, we're just looking at the right-hand side. So we're going to multiply these values first. So negative 3 times negative 4 is 12. And then we'll have 12 plus 2 is 14. And then that will then just be my solution. We don't have to do anything else because it's just asking for f of negative 4. We're not going to do the next slide 62. We are going to look at slide 63 because this one has a little bit more going on with it. So again, checking our function. This one uses the letter h, and that really doesn't mean anything different. It's just talking about it as being a different function value. Okay, again, right here, that means that x is going to be 2. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my function that was originally in the problem. So h of x equals negative 6x squared plus 18x plus 36. Anywhere we see an x, we're going to replace it with a 2. Okay? So there's a lot of spaces with the x this time. So h of 2 equals negative 6 parentheses 2. Don't forget your exponent there. Plus 18 parentheses 2 plus 36. All right, this one has a little bit more that we have to calculate. So what we're going to do first is calculate 2 to the second power. So make sure you're doing that in your calculators. I get 4 for that. So I'll have negative 6 times 4 plus 18 times 2 plus 36. These are both multiplying, so I can actually do those both at the same time. When I multiply those, I get negative 24, and then 18 times 2 is 36, plus 36. Negative 24 plus 36 is going to be 12, so 12 plus 36, and then that's going to equal 48. That one's a bit more challenging, but I think that's all I'm going to do for this section, because again, you'll get some practice on our worksheet.